Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. You guys know what time it is. Time to talk about current events in the online fitness community, which I do these on occasion now. I had something that is a kind of a big deal. It's come through my feed. It's about Robert Pattinson and the Batman role, which I covered a while back. A lot of people have asked me to chime in. They're like, Jason, he said he's not working out for Batman. Just a quick reminder though, for those of you who enjoy these videos, please remember to click like down below. Help keep the likes higher than the dislikes. This video is going to be fairly controversial. Yeah, I have a problem with him saying that he's not working out. And he actually said in the interview, where I read through, and I quote, "If you're working out all the time, you're part of the problem." Part of the problem. We have an obesity epidemic in this country. We have a problem where people are dying from being sedentary, overweight, and having bad lifestyles. Number one killer. Hey, heart disease, number one killer. Cancer, number two killer. What causes those? Being sedentary, obese, and having a bad diet. That's 90% of your causes of both of those. Everything else, all the other lifestyle factors and genetics make up maybe 10%. Across the board, on average, there are some cancers that have as much as 30%, but we're talking as a whole. Okay, this is lifestyle induced. People who are working out are part of the problem. What the hell's he talking about? And then it said, oh, part of it is he's trying to survive the quarantine like everyone else. Okay, I hate that nonsense too. We're all in this together. No, we are not all in this together. Okay, he's wealthy. He has no businesses to worry about. He is not worried about will he be able to make his rent next week. Okay? He's not worried about if he's going to make his rent next week. He's not worried about losing his business. All right, I know people who have completely lost their businesses already. I know people who can't afford to survive. I know people who've been fired and the unemployment's not enough to quite cover their current bills. No, we are not all in this together. No, he is not just trying to survive like everyone else. He's a multimillionaire. He doesn't have any problems during this. I hate that. When people in that world try to relate to others. No, you can't relate to others. Hey, you don't have the same struggles. You have struggles, but they're not the same struggles. They're usually self-induced at that point. No, people have real struggles right now. And basically, my point with this, he is being lazy and he's setting a bad example. I said that before. His whole thing, well, I can't bulk up. I'm struggling for the role to bulk up. Okay, that's what happened before. Okay, he expressed laziness. I wasn't happy about it then. And I'm like, this is totally unacceptable. Batman is jacked and strong. Sorry, anyone who reads the comic books knows. I'm going to go over to the point of, does Batman bench press? Okay, before someone says, no, Batman doesn't lift weights. No, the comic book purists, I'll let all the people who read comic books, because this is a character we're based upon, tell me below how much Batman bench presses. It's actually kind of known by all the nerds who follow it. His official bench press is known from the comic books. We know how much he bench presses. I'll let you guys post it down below, so don't tell me he's not stupidly jacked and strong and like a world record holding level powerlifter strength. Because Batman is. You know why? Probably because he's rich and does nothing but train all the time. Hey? Batman himself sets the opposite example of what Robert is setting. Batman says, okay, I'm wealthy and want to help the world, and I need to be strong and ultra insanely fit. So he does nothing but train all day. With weightlifting, weapons, martial arts, conditioning, general physical preparedness. Right? All Batman does is train because he's rich. He doesn't just lay around and say, I'm just too lazy to train. Well, if you're working out all day, you're part of the problem. As a strength coach by profession, I find that a little bit offensive, Robert. I could stand here and say that, well, if you're an actor, if you're a lazy-ass piece of shit actor, you're part of the problem. How's that? Because I'm a strength coach. I do train every day. I work with athletes every day. I coach people every single day. I'm making people stronger and better and healthier and fitter and more confident That's not part of the problem. Okay, we also live in a world where we have the physical aspects, but what about the other aspects? Notice the point I said that I'm making people more confident. You know what? We also have a self-esteem and depression issue in this country. Okay? In our society, we have a self-esteem issue. We have a depression issue. We have self-image issues. Strength training. Notice I did not say working out. Strength training builds confidence. It builds character. It builds self-worth. It builds you up. I'm not talking about standing and flexing in front of the mirror looking at your abs all day. I'm not talking about eating disorder stuff. I am talking about strength training, a quantifiable metric to where you put in hour after hour, month after month, year after year towards the measurable act of getting stronger. And it helps with everything. We know strength training cuts heart disease dramatically. That's based upon the research. We know it cuts cancer by 50%. Okay? Number 2 cause of death, cancer. Strength training cuts it in half. Staves off osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, 70% reduction in diabetes. Strength training is one of the best things you can do for yourself physically and emotionally. Because it does all those physical things, but what else does it do? It builds confidence. It builds self-worth. It makes you value yourself and see yourself as a different person, because not only do you know that you are physically able when you are strong, you have gone through the process of directly putting in work towards bettering yourself. And when you do that consistently, and you have quantifiable metrics of your strength, something that you could measure, how much stronger have I gotten? You program your brain to say, I am worth it. Okay? Because I obviously put in all this work to make myself better, so I must be better. It's an act of self-care. It's an act of self-love. Builds people up. And yeah, I have a problem with a traditional role in which you have a jacked badass who does train, who is insanely strong, who does get under a heavy barbell. That is the character. And whether you guys liked Batfleck or not, with Ben Affleck, whether you liked that movie or not, we could debate whether it was a good movie. Okay? I liked it, but had problems with it. Okay? It had some problems. I think most of us agree that movie had some issues, Batman v Superman. But Ben Affleck got jacked, and he trained his ass off for that movie. Right? Didn't he? Pretty obvious, and we saw some of it. Heavy barbell work, heavy GPP work. Those who don't know, that's general physical preparedness. Right? He got jacked for that role. And this guy can't do that. And he's using a lazy excuses. Well, it's too hard for me to bulk up. First of all, that's lazy. I don't put up with that shit from my lifters. I don't put up with that shit from my lifters, from my athletes. Now, well, I'm just trying to survive like everyone else. If you work out, you're part of the problem. No, brother. You're part of the problem. You're setting a bad example. Okay, we have an entire generation that's out of shape and weak and dying and killing themselves and suffering from depression and suffering from self-esteem. They need to get under a barbell. It would be the best thing they could possibly do. All right? It is the best thing they could possibly do for themselves. And you are promoting the opposite. And I'm not going to get on board with that. I'm not going to endorse that. I'm not going to say that that's acceptable. It's not acceptable. Absolutely not. All right, and let's come over to the point. People who are serious about an acting role, they go all in. All right? I mean, Christian Bale, who's also been Batman. I'm not saying what he did for The Machinist was good, because it obviously wasn't, but he went all in. See, that's an actor who takes his job seriously. right? That's a real actor. Heath Ledger, I mean, let's talk about Batman characters. Now, granted, it didn't end too well, but that man was a real actor. To the point where he stole the show from Batman because he did such a good job with his immersive acting. He got so immersed in that role. He absolutely stole the show. Absolutely did. It cost him. But when we look at an actor, we can look at that and say, that was a great actor. That was a great actor. Heath Ledger wasn't a good actor. He was a great actor. And that performance will be basically put him down as a legend forever. So no, Robert, there's a lot of history tied to this role, and you are not living up to it. And you're setting a bad example. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.